One more story. There was a woman in Rwanda who was 50 years old with 10 children. Her husband and her seven youngest children were killed in the genocide. The only reason the other three survived is they were in the military and they were off. So there she was. She had to start her whole life again and no means of supporting herself. But she was a gifted basket maker, so she went and found a Hutu woman in the other ethnic group who was reputed to be a gifted basket maker. And she said, we have to begin again. The women have to lead this. First, there were more women survivors than men. He said, we've got to do this. Let's go into business together and hire other young women and train them and do this. And their business took off like hotcakes. I bet 20% of the people in this room have bought Rwandan baskets made by this cooperative. And eventually they had so many women working there and more demand and more sales all around the world, they started hiring young men and training them. About a year after they started hiring young men, a 26-year-old young man asked to see the boss, and he came in to see her, and he broke down crying. He said, you've been so wonderful to me. I'm so grateful. I can't let this go on anymore. I murdered one of your children. He said, I just can't live with myself anymore. And she said, so he said to her, I know your older sons are still in the military. And so if you want justice, just send for one of them. I will stay here and work until he comes and he can kill me. That is all I can do for you, but I can do that. And she looked at him and said the following thing. What good would that do? I forgive you. Get up and go back to work. Now, I don't know how many of us could do that. All I know is 10 years ago, the per capita income of Rwanda was $268 a year, less than $1 a day. The per capita income in Haiti, where I work today for the UN, was $700 a year. Today, the per capita income in Haiti is $770 a year. The per capita income in Rwanda is $1,100 a year. They have virtually quadrupled the income of the country in a decade. And every Saturday, a different portion of the adults of Rwanda take the day off and clean the streets. Every adult in Rwanda, once a month, takes a Saturday and works cleaning the streets, from the wealthiest to the poorest. The president said that we don't have to be sloppy and dirty because we're poor. We need to be proud. People will want to come here. We'll bring more tourists. We'll bring more investors. People will see the fierce determination we have to come back from what happened to us. So, look, not getting this deal was the biggest disappointment, I think, of my life. But it wasn't mine to get. It was the Israelis and the Palestinians to grab. There was nobody brokering the peace in Rwanda after the genocide. They did it. And everywhere in the world, whoever the they is, have to do it. But if you look at every single problem the world has, why do we have this horrible financial meltdown? Why were people stealing from each other? Because they were living under this stupid illusion that you really can get somewhere in life by screwing somebody else. And in an interdependent world, it is not true. We have to find ways for everybody to win again. And look, I'm not naive. I'm worried about the Iranian nuclear program. I do all that. You know I'm not against the use of force under appropriate circumstances. But I'm telling you, the most important thing here is to recognize nobody's going to turn back the population clock. Nobody's going to turn back the technology clock. They can't avoid being interdependent. It's just a question of whether it's going to be positive or negative. Once you know that, all the other details become manageable. And I think we should all pray that they will be managed toward a conclusion so that 100 years from now, somebody will get this award for being for something besides peace in the Middle East, because everybody there will be third or fourth generation of people who enjoyed the peace in the Middle East. Thank you very much.